to say that I'm glad to see the public here. And we're going to have roll call.
John?
Here.
Linda? Here. Leon?
Here.
Stacy?
Here.
Martha?
Here.
Paul? Note that he is absent. Okay.
Okay, we're going to read the treasury report. Minutes. We're going to read the minutes. We're going to kind of try this about like Allendale and a couple of other places do. Kind of shorten these meetings up. And you want to read them?
Okay. These are the ones from February 11th. Clerk Christina James called the monthly meeting of the Village of Bellmont to order. Roll call was taken as follows. Linda Johnson, Paul Van Meter, Leon Raver, Stacy Kimmel, John King, and Martha Eads were present. Town Attorney Trevor Sawyer was also present. Motion to approve the January 14th, 2020 minutes was made by Linda Johnson, second by John King, passed unanimously. The treasurer's reports were passed around, and a motion to approve the December's report was made by Stacy Kimmel, second by Martha Eads, passed unanimously. A discussion took place of how the board can get through the financial statements without taking a lot of time. Christina will check into how different villages and towns go through the financial statements. Monthly bills were passed around. A motion to pay February bills is made by John King, second by Linda Johnson, passed unanimously. Bill Randolph gave the water report, stated they've been getting good water readings. He has fixed some tractor issues. He spoke about the mower. It was mentioned by Leon that it would be a good idea to check with Mike Berbert to see if he'd be willing to look into the mower before taking it to Rural King. Meeting was open for public comments. David King spoke. Rhonda Short made mention of the tree again on Persimmon. Oh, there it goes down here. Bill Randolph has checked the tree and it's still blooming. Discussion was made that perhaps the town could get an opinion from a tree company or arborist. David King asked if there was an inventory in place regarding tools, etc. Milburn Hornback spoke in regards to the fire department needing to unlock and check the hydrants so that they're all working in order. It was suggested that Steve Rigg get in touch with the town about going around and checking the hydrants. The fiscal year 2019 audit from Butch & Associates was passed, and it was agreed to table this until next month to give the board members opportunity to review the audit. Shelter house construction was discussed and progress being made. The board was told that West Construction said they would put up new exhaust fans in the bathroom if they would be purchased. A discussion was made to go ahead and vote on the cost for the new fans because waiting until March would be after the project was complete. A motion to vote on the cost was made by Leon Raber, second by Linda Johnson, passed unanimously with board members. The Moto Fuel planned road improvements need to be done for the year. It was decided that the new Mayor Pro Tem, Bill Randolph, and Stacy Kimmel, since she's the board member over roads, would go around and check on the roads that need to be repaired. Christina James mentioned that the board needs to find a replacement clerk by the March meeting. She would attend the March meeting to help the new clerk. Next was the appointment of the Mayor Pro Tem. A section in the ordinances and Illinois statute was explained to the board members regarding qualifications for the mayor. John King nominated himself for the position of Mayor Pro Tem. Votes were taken as follow on the nomination of John King for Mayor Pro Tem, and you can see those listed. Leon Raber nominated Gary Lance to be Mayor Pro Tem. Gary said that he would accept the nomination. Votes were taken as follow on the nomination of Gary Lance for Mayor Pro Tem, and you can see those as listed. Gary Lance was sworn in as Mayor Pro Tem by Clerk Christina James. John King motioned to adjourn the meeting, second by Linda Johnson at 8:27. Next meeting is scheduled for March 10th, 2020 at 6:30 p.m. So if there are any additions, corrections, let me know. If not, they can stand approved. Does anyone see any that needs to be approved? Corrections? Okay. And they stand approved. For the February 25th special meeting, Mayor Pro Tem Gary Lance called a special meeting of the Village Bellmont to order. Roll call was taken as follows. Linda Johnson, Leon Raber, Stacy Kimmel, John King, and Martha Eads were present. Paul Van Meter was absent. An update on the shelter house was given that West Construction should be finishing on time this week. In the discussion, it was mentioned that Stacy Kimmel and Christina James donated 3 lights for the kitchen in the shelter house. Also, Stacy Kimmel also donated a new front porch light for the shelter house. Gary told the board that the hot water heater was out at the shelter house and needed to be replaced. He mentioned that he replaced a valve on the hot water heater that was leaking. Then he tried to relight the pilot light and it didn't work. He then bought a thermocoupler for the hot water heater and tried to replace that. That didn't fix the hot water heater. Gary presented the board with 2 options from Menards for replacing the hot water heater. The first was a Richmond Essential 40-gallon with a 6-year warranty for $364. The second was a Sure Comfort 40-gallon with a 3-year warranty for $335. Linda Johnson mentioned that she did check with Sharp & Williams to see if they had a hot water heater that they would be willing to donate, but they did not have any available. There was a discussion on what account the money for the hot water heater would come from. Christina James told them it should be coming from the shelter, should be coming out of the shelter house account. After discussion, it was decided that it should be brought to a vote. The first was for buying a hot water heater, the second one is for which one should be purchased. Like that. The votes were as follows, and you can see those listed. Meeting was open for public comments. David King asked again which account the payment for the hot water heater would come from. Leon Raber motioned to adjourn the meeting, second by John King. Next meeting is scheduled for March 10th, 2020 at 6:30. I saw 2 typos. Other than that, are there any additions or corrections?
I need an addition. Nothing in it says, I asked about who's qualified to hook up the gas.
Okay.
Water.
Would that, you like that in the body of it? Or because you asked that before the vote, correct?
Yes,
Yes.
and nobody else, yes.
Qualified to hook up the hot water heater, is that
Yes, if
all
they
that
were,
needs to be added?
whoever hooked it up and
Qualification of-
qualifications.
About a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, the city police went and stopped them. They go, what you called? I called up the head out of Route 15. And when I called up,
She's still not right,
yeah.
I will correct those and they will be presented again in March, in April.
Getting 60 miles on the grass, and he come back in and
If they're not for hire, you don't have to be certified.
If you put it in a commercial building, you have to be certified as a licensed plumber. Look it up. Yeah.
No, I
You don't
couldn't
make
take this
your own
out.
time.
That's a commercial building.
Commercial building, any public building,
Got his license plate number.
it is public if we rent it out.
I backed off and watched him
Okay, I'll make a comment on that.
to the right to go.
I'll probably keep my mouth shut.
That's okay.
I'd already called him.
Here, tell them some about it.
If you hire somebody to come and make,
Red light up there at,
let us know if it's good or not good,
he pulled.
that's gonna cost us money.
Yes.
If we already know that it ain't no good, it's over 20 years old,
Yeah,
why do you wanna hire somebody to come and tell you that it's no good?
because that's the law. You gotta have a hired plumber that is licensed to hook up in a commercial building, anything that's gas. By law. But I can,
My bag then.
I have the law right here.
We're going to jail.
I will ask you another question.
Yes, sir. Go
If
ahead.
you were doing it in your house, would you wait for a professional to tell you if your water heater was any good or not?
No, because in a
Thank you.
residential house, you do not have to have a licensed plumber to hook it up.
I agree.
And I have the laws
That's what
on
I'm-
both of them right here.
That's what I'm trying to, find out.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
We was on a time schedule.
Yeah, well, we could have taken a little bit more time. I know we had a fire department chili stopper, but to get it in right, and dispensers on it, if we have the money also, then we need to look into that before we just go ahead and vote and stuff. 'Cause what if
We didn't have it though.
We
You know that,
didn't have the dispensers for the water heater?
probably not.
Well,
Well, not for the professional people who come in.
no, but to have it done, we gotta have professional people. It's a liability issue. If something, water went on, and people went in there and something happened, it's on us, the
I
board.
understand that.
And that's why I was asking last meeting if anybody was qualified.
I didn't research all that.
And,
No, I took it on my own to do it all.
okay, well, I mean, the best thing to do is probably get a licensed plumber if we have the funds, and then have him look it over and make sure it's okay.
Now that it's already done,
Yeah. Unless we're not going, we can't allow people in the shelter house if that's the law and we're not qualified to do it.
well then we shouldn't allow the, chili people,
didn't-
the
yes,
fire
no,
department
we
to have
shouldn't
their
have.
chili thing.
Nope, we shouldn't have.
And you're on the fire department.
Yes, I am. I didn't go up there during the chili supper, did I?
I didn't see you when I was up there,
Exactly, thank you.
but I was told you was up there though.
Well, I wasn't.
That reminds me, when I went up
okay.
there, the, fire, no, what do you call the extinguishers, they need to be updated.
Yes.
Yes, the extinguishers, maybe a couple of things need to be
I talked
updated up
to Steve,
there.
I talked to
I
Steve
mean,
about that.
Yeah.
it's a work in progress, that's for sure.
It is, but we need to have that gas tank checked out, cause it's on us, it's a liability.
Okay.
And if we made a mistake, we need to address it and made a mistake and put it in the new minutes and then
I
do it
just-
right, do it right,
Did that.
okay, and then do it right.
We have a copy of that,
Yes, it's 28 pages, you can have that copy.
the whole thing, or do you need it back?
No, I don't need it back, I can get
Is
some
there
more.
a reference number to it? Does it have a,
Yeah, I'll pass it down to you. Well, you can look at it now and I'll get it after the meeting,
Okay.
that way we can
That's fine, yeah.
address it.
No problem. No problem.
oh, yeah, done.
Oh, yeah. No problem. Let's see. I can't get staples to this one.
Several years ago, Gary, we had a water heater put in the church. And the insurance company didn't have a problem with it, except you better have it inspected by a
Yeah,
licensed, to be sure the vent, gas, and all that stuff. It's just a formality,
Yeah, I understand that. I understand the liability part and everything
Can
too.
public utility do that,
I'm
Since they
sure
come
they
here
probably
and look
could.
at ours?
They might be able to.
they might,
since they come and look at these
they
here?
might.
Yeah, I'm sure they could.
When we do the sniff test, I'll ask him. He'll be here in a week or so. And once a month, we have to do a sniff test
Yeah.
at the stove,
Who'd you say, fire department?
public utility.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I blowed one up, sure did.
yeah.
They shut her down.
Yeah. Anything could happen, it's a liability.
And there was smelled like a gas leak at
I mean,
the,
I believe he stated that last week.
They
I
got
went to pick up a nail and I smelled gas at their meter.
Insurance company had
And
a
I
problem
called them
shutting it
about it. I don't know if they checked
They
it
did
or
have a
not.
problem with, they
Yeah.
want somebody.
He said he was going.
It's just the one,
Okay, yep.
heading there, right?
Um,
This one heading.
Yeah, you, yeah, you can look at this and it'll tell you everything.
trade
You can
report,
find it in
what we done, approved bills and what you said don't do.
Thank you.
Okay. That again now? Right. Okay. I guess we can do the water report.
Okay.
Yes, it works.
We read the water meters in February. I have to read the water wells and do a chlorine test 7 days a week. The lift station meters have to be read every Monday. Fix potholes. Gary and I swept and mopped the shelter after the carpenters were done. Worked on the leak at Hardwick's meter. That's about it. Sanders Environmental came Saturday, took 5 chlorine samples. The lowest was 0.08, the highest was 1.4. And they said that was very good. The tower reading was 1.3, City Hall was 1.1 when I did it. Evidently last summer somebody borrowed Jack Stoneberger's battery out of his riding lawnmower and put it in ours, and Jack would like to have his back or reimburse him for his. And we need to think about ordering gas and diesel fuel for the summer.
What do you use the diesel for?
Tractors.
And I guess we'll get that from FS, being they bought Andrews, or whatever his name thinks.
I've noticed in the past when the farmers get in the field, the price of gas and diesel goes up, so we might want to think about doing that pretty quick.
It's gonna drop. You need to fill them up now.
Fill them up now, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna drop.
225 today, I think it was.
It's gonna drop. It's,
Gonna go under two. isn't
barrel's
it?
$34
Yeah.
a barrel right now
Really, is that all?
on the market.
Wow,
Yeah, it's,
It's now, and they said that you'll see it fluctuating on the pubs right now.
wow.
when it goes up, it may not know where to stop.
Yeah, I'd get it, I'd order it.
Right now, yeah.
Okay.
Up to you guys, you know.
Yeah.
I got a question about that. Does the town pay motor fuel tax on fuel? Now, the farmers don't pay motor fuel tax,
It's not from highway use.
but does the village?
We just get a,
Shouldn't.
I don't know,
You
we just
shouldn't.
get a bill for the gas, I
I
don't
don't know
have
if we're
anything.
exempt of it.
It's not for highway.
We are tax
I don't
exempt,
know.
Well, then you probably don't pay it.
yeah, we're tax exempt, but, and there's not usually
That
tax
don't make
on
tax
the
exempt or not. You
invoice
still
that I've
have to pay
seen,
for it.
because we're tax exempt, so.
It's, you don't pay the highway tax.
Yeah.
You still gotta pay the tax, but not the highway
Not the
tax.
highway tax, yeah.
I missed when we're passing around the bills, we need to get them approved.
Can I explain some of it?
Yes.
Okay, while this is going around, I had, talked to Linda, since she's over finance, and I wanted to let you guys know that this is, why this is going around, the CD that you guys voted to close in January to cover our part of the shelter house construction, had a little over 10,500 in there, and our portion was 10,305. So there was roughly $200 left over in the general fund, because that's where all of the statements came from, the checks came from for West Construction. And so you'll see on, under general construction, that there were a couple bills paid out of the general, and it says in parentheses on the side, it says leftover money from closing the CD. That was paid out of there, but that's from the shelter fund that was put into the general. Does that make sense? That was from the money from the CD that was closed. Do you see that? Did the parentheses print out? Oh, right here. Leftover. That part didn't print out. It says leftover money left from the CD. I'll make sure that's on Britt's copy that it goes to. But that's why those are in there. That was leftover money from the shelter house CD.
While we're doing that, anybody got any public comments they'd like to say?
Yep.
Yeah.
Bill Eblin, I got a question on this rock up here at the park. I read an email come from her, Christina. I read your email. You said to Anita, and that park road is not country. It is not country.
No, we followed that up with a phone conversation because we had so much back and forth. We followed it up with a phone conversation. She said as long as it was on that road, Ballpark Road, we could use it.
No, you can't.
But she, I'm telling you,
You
she
can't.
said,
I done talked to her. She said you can't.
I talked to her on the phone
I
conversation,
talked to her
the same.
several times.
I don't know what to
It's
tell you.
out of city limits.
Can we
The
use,
road is out of city limits.
can we use the motor fuel tax out of limit?
No. But that's why we had so many back and forth that day, that week about it. And finally I called and I said, I'm tired of the back and forth. I want to know. I said, we were told yes we can, we were told no we can't, and she said, I know exactly where that is. She said, yes, on that road, and I said, are you sure? Because the people that live across the street from it are not in the city limit, like 2 houses back. And she said, I know exactly where it's at. She said, as long as it's not in the park, because she was under the impression, like a lot of towns like Mount Carmel have roads through the park, that it was a road in the park and not actually a park, a road, a ballpark road.
Right.
And she said after we went our back and forth, email, back and forth, I called her and she said, yes, as long as it's on that road, I know exactly where that road is.
That was that day. The day, 2 to 3 days later, she said that after she seen that the mail was not, the email showed the park, and it was not in city limits. And that park road has always been funded by the park.
No, she
funds.
sent me that email showing the city limits after our phone conversation. But our phone conversation, I told
Well,
her,
that
I said
was
we have
email.
back and forth.
I read it. And I assured her that it was not in the city limits.
I told her that it was not across from it. She sent the email on March 2nd with the map, but it had already been done at that point.
And the map
On
don't show the
February
city park
28th,
in the
she
city
said
limits.
if it's not just for the park, the rock may be utilized. And then I called her that afternoon. Is that the 28th? Yes,
The
I
park's
called
not
her
in
that
city
Friday.
limits? The park's not in city limits?
No,
No, it's not.
sure not.
Huh,
Neither is the baseball field.
really?
Yeah, sure not.
Huh.
She was aware of you telling her that the road was in city limits.
No, I told
The
her
baseball
definitely that
field.
it was not.
The baseball field's in the city limits?
No, it's
No.
not.
It's
No.
not city limits also.
Huh.
No,
So the trailer park's not either, is it?
no.
I knew, yeah.
Not
That rock is for the village of Bellmont, specifically.
Yes, and we had our phone
Specifically,
conversation.
out my dollar bill, I pay $14,000 a year on my motor fuel tax. Now you can roll your eyes all you want, but don't. I'm telling you, when I talk to her, she's tired of the storage business.
I have
she was-
an
she
email
was
that says
aware-
it can be used.
It can't
You
be
told
used, it's
her-
outside.
I'm telling
You
you, I
told
have
her
the
in that email that
no,
that
I
was-
did not.
That park road was in city limits, huh?
No, I
According
did
to the
not. I
email-
told her that across the street
I'm
was
not
out
mad.
of city limits.
I just-
I know you're not mad, but
We can look into
I
it.
just got a comment to say, this is not on the agenda we got here.
It needs to be.
Wait, you talking about that big pile of rock?
Well, yeah, it can't be used on a city park road. It cannot be used on a city park road. It's a
It is
private.
Park.
Nobody did.
That's what we discussed back and forth. It's
Nobody,
not a park.
nobody used that rock on that road. Nobody did.
I know, but it was that. But I read her email. They was wanting
It may
to use
have
the
been
rock.
discussed, but it was not used.
They was wanting to use the rock on us. And I want to stop this because it's not for the city. It's not for the park.
It's too big anyway.
It is not for the park.
It's supposed to have been moved to start with.
It should have never. That got into a big much trouble.
Who put
She'll
it there?
she'll tell
It
you.
has
rock.
been for
Who
quite
put
a
it
while.
She's fed up with it.
I
I
ain't
can
even
tell you
been
that
there.
much.
They put it in the wrong place.
Who put it there?
It's been a sore in her side for quite a while. That rock has. It needs to be, it needs to be moved. It needs to be moved
Right here.
from up there down to here.
Right here.
I mentioned that one.
It
but
should have
I
never
was
been
reading
stored.
But the thing
That
of it
needs
is,
to
that
be
rock
moved
that we
down
put
there.
up the shelter house,
It should have
fire
never been.
department paid for that.
No, I ain't saying that. I
Okay.
said that pile up
Yeah,
there.
I understand what you're
I
talking
know,
about.
I'm not saying, it's great they got donated.
Okay,
But I said, I had heard that they've been wanting, that you guys, he said the email come from you, that you requested it, that you want to use that rock for the
But they
city
were
park
wondering- yeah,
road.
they
And
were
you
wondering if
cannot use
Yeah.
that rock
I
for
was
the
wanting
city
to know
park.
about it, if we
You
couldn't
can-
use it or not.
You cannot use it on the park road.
It-
Motor fuel
I'm-
tax
I'm
money
getting
does
on
not
that
provide
one.
for that.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm glad somebody donated that, but we always paid for it. I donated 2 loads years ago up there. I read the email,
Well,
huh?
I guess I can move it one bucket at a time down here.
What ain't supposed to be stored up there?
One of my
I
first
need to know
meetings
that.
here, I asked them to move it down here because I didn't want it up at the park. Yeah, it was on over the park.
It cannot be used
I
up
think they've
there.
been taking it and putting it
Okay.
in potholes in the trailer park.
that's all we can do on that one. Anybody else?
I think if it ain't village limits, that it needs to be moved back down here with our other piles.
I agree.
And also that we don't need to be using rock out city limits anymore for anything.
Yeah,
Probably
they're
use
saying
it.
it
Well,
wasn't
the people,
used anyway.
the people that
It's
put it
moved,
up
I
there
got
shouldn't
pictures
have
of
put
it
it
the
up there
next
to
day, it's
begin
been
with.
moved, been used.
He's been using it on the road, the streets.
Yeah, I ended up there also.
Who has?
Have you put any on?
Yeah, I'm not done yet.
Uh-uh.
I'm not done yet.
No, I haven't. I've been
I'm
using
not done
road
yet.
pack.
Okay.
I know this ain't on the agenda. We need to get it on the agenda. Hill Street, while I'm on a roll, Hill Street is pitiful.
We know this, Bill.
Here was-
But wait a minute. Whoever was responsible, and I talked to Nita about that, she said she only suggested we use that rock up there. But it said, it's your town, do what you want to do. That is pitiful.
Yeah, I did.
Whoever is responsible for that, that's motor fuel tax money, might as well just throw it away.
It's bad.
And the
think
people
that
need,
is
wait,
pretty bad.
wait a minute, people need to be accountable for making that judgment. I don't know who's in charge of the road. Is that you in charge of the road?
Mr. Evelyn, that was OL at the time, thank you.
Okay, I'm
They said
asking.
that Mount Carmel stabilization used the wrong, didn't have enough oil on the road. When I
No,
talked to
that's
Anita
what
about
Who,
it.
that, she didn't even know about it. Anita,
I
didn't
talked
even
to
know
her
it's
about
such
it
bad
that same
shape.
day on the 28th.
Yeah, I don't know nothing, cause I ain't never been.
I know, but that
Yeah,
needs to
she
be,
did call.
who's in charge of the road?
She did call about that. I am now.
What's the name?
Okay, that needs to be addressed as soon as possible.
Didn't they put that big rock on there so it would up the weightage?
I know,
Because
I
they
talked to
ran out
Anita
of
about
oil.
it. But she told me I just suggested it, Bill. I did not tell them they had to use that. She said it didn't work. I said absolutely
No,
did
it
not
did
work.
not. No, it did not.
I just think it needs to be adjusted. I
How
mean, it
we-
needs to be #1 priority. A lot of people live on that road.
How are we gonna get it
That
up?
rock, that road is in bad shape.
Thank you.
How are we gonna get it up? Is the question.
Thank you very much.
What you going,
Next,
you gonna talk?
Well, just short. What about the boil order? Is
that's
it-
off,
It's off, yeah.
been off for 2 days,
Nobody told anybody.
It's
no.
on the board.
It was on
It
the
was
board
on
as soon as
board.
it happened.
We took it off.
I
the
don't
board.
always come down this way, so you don't always see everything down through
We're,
here.
we're not gonna make house calls.
So,
When that boil oil was,
It was on the board the day that they called us about it.
when that boil oil was lifted, was it tested?
Yes,
5 places, like I said. 5.
5
Come here.
they
places?
tested and the people that is over, above us, they tested.
They come
They
from
tested it.
That's
Carbondale.
why they discontinued.
Yeah, they were here bright and early every day, Saturday and Sunday. I see them.
That'd be the EPA.
Yes, Carl, or Sanders Environmental.
it's sad that they can't tell nobody, but they can go around and
I got a
get
question.
Paul Van Meter to make a
Alright.
gopher to call.
I got a
the
question I wanna ask.
Your name?
David G. King. I'd like to have, we had a grant for the shelter house. All right, if you got a grant, you need 3 estimates from 3 different bidders. From 3 different bidders on that shelter house. I would like to see the paperwork on all 3 bidders and how much they bid on.
I wasn't here, I can't help you with that.
Well, I like to see them somehow by the next meeting
We'll
or
see
somehow.
we'll see what we can do, that's all I can say.
David, go to.
Oh, I'd like to see what 3 contractors they were, and I'd like to know if these people that put on the shelter house were insured and had the bid. That's why I'm wanting the 3.
That was through the people that had the grant, wasn't it, Stacy?
From what I understand,
That was out of these people's hands.
that's out of our hands, who they pick. We have certain, from what I understand, we had certain contractors, is that correct, Linda?
I'm not sure how it's handled.
How do you get your certain contractors?
From whoever we get the grant from.
No, it don't work
I
that way.
That's
messaged
from
Kim
what I
about that.
It was up
She
to
said
them.
that
It don't work
they had
that
an
way.
open meeting in regards to this, and she said like 2 people showed up. But that's all, she said that's all she was aware of.
But I'd like to
I'll
see the
see
3
what I can find
contractors'
out.
paperwork, if I can get it.
We'll see.
Wasn't the grant through the USDA?
This is rural development.
I'll say one thing about that shelter house. The fire department, whoever was involved with that, done a top-notch job. That was a success, I think, wasn't it?
Yes.
From what I've heard, yes. it
Sold
was.
out, yeah.
I mean, my word. Do you have any idea how much money you raised?
No, I haven't heard.
I mean, just, I'm not gonna kill you if you don't.
Couple grand.
Was it?
I don't like to say it without,
Yeah.
getting approved.
That's not bad.
How many gallon was
That
it,
ain't
45
pretty
gallons?
high.
45
I
gallons?
had no idea, but it was
Yeah, we
a lot
usually
of
have
people
about,
and a lot of chili and a lot of desserts and everything.
yeah.
And shelter house looked great.
Yeah, it does.
Representative Darren Bailey stopped by.
Oh,
They
yeah.
need to figure
Another
out
Yeah, you see it going.
Now, there's
They need
other
to fix
candidates
that
and
door
stuff.
on there because it
They're
wasn't
not so
shut
much.
real good.
Yeah, the door you go in the shelter house.
Yeah.
New water heater was pretty,
Here
wasn't
we
it?
go.
Okay, we're gonna move on to old business. Shelter house is one. Any comments or anything?
Just to get that gas line checked.
Yeah.
Right on.
Okay, I agree with that. We'll see if public utility can do that.
Okay.
What about the, I don't know the proper name of it, sausage, on that back part of the, did you get to go to the meeting on Monday when they came in? And what they say about finishing up, did they finish that part?
They put the metal on the
On the
outside.
end down,
Yeah,
on this
yeah.
end,
Did that
yes,
get
they,
done?
they
Okay.
got all that
On
done.
up underneath, it's gonna be painted
Painted?
with something they had
Okay,
suggested.
all right.
We're one earthquake away from a catastrophe. If them water lines break, what are we gonna do? We don't have no water. Huh? What are we gonna do? There's no backup generators.
Start preventive maintenance on it.
Stab one, and
Huh? We need a water well with a windmill.
Completed audit,
At least we can get water to flush the toilets.
we do need
I
this
guess you can
approved
do like we did
for
and
FY
go
29.
buy
I never thought about that, by
What
golly.
if the roads
Pass that
were
around.
tore up from cracking open?
Yeah,
there?
Pass that
Yeah.
around.
There won't be no real hurt comes
Yeah.
that time.
I looked at
I
mine
guess
tonight.
we need to get a yea or nay vote on it, right?
Yeah, we need a motion to pass it in a second.
We need a motion to pass it in a second.
That's your audit.
Did you look at the audit?
Yeah. Do I have it?
Yeah, you
Am
got
I
it.
supposed to pass it around?
No.
We need a
You
motion
need
to
a
pass
motion
it
to pass it and
and then a vote, or a second.
I didn't get a chance to look it over well.
I did, but there again,
They didn't see anything really out of whack.
compared to the last one.
there's nothing to compare
Yeah, that's,
to, that's what
well,
I'm saying.
I think I have a copy of the last one.
I've got the last one.
I can get that to you, Rich. The last one, see if I can, I need to review it too.
You wanna put it on next month's agenda, or you just,
Well, I think it'd be a good idea, cause Linda says she has there's nothing compared to. I look at it and I see,
Cause he doesn't
Two.
have one from last time, yeah.
Yeah.
I might
I
have
don't
extra
either.
back there.
I looked at it at the meeting in the last one and I didn't see
okay, we'll
anything
put it off
to
till next month.
Which is
Next thing is motor fuel agenda. Road improvements.
I'll get with Bill, sometime this week. I've been a little under
We
the
know
weather.
Hill Street is number one on the list.
Mhm.
That's the street at Jody Graves and go left and right there, like down to the firehouse, that's
Yeah,
the, right?
Hackberry, I believe.
Well, is that Hackberry? Hackberry.
Probably
No.
first,
The Hill Street's
probably
right by
first
Jody
of
Graves.
next week,
Okay.
Bill, 'cause I'm
Hill
not,
Street.
Yeah.
give me some time to.
Yeah.
Hackberry.
That's
I
the
live
one
on
that goes up
Hackberry.
past Bill's place.
That's why I was
Is that
thinking.
down with Bruce Place?
Park Road, isn't it?
Okay.
Isn't that called Park Road?
It is once it gets out of the city limits.
Oh, I guess.
It
so.
is when it's out of city limits.
That'd be a county road then.
Did we put any rock down on the cemetery road?
They did last year, yes,
They did
and whenever
last
they
year.
done that, yes, they did.
Cause I thought it looked better when I went.
And I think it
Yeah, I
was that
think it
stuff that they used that was up there at the park.
Okay. I thought it was a little better when I was coming back from the cemetery.
while we're on roads, I don't wanna offend you. I think you was the one that did it.
Yeah, I
You
know.
went down Railroad Street
Buck stops here.
I don't wanna offend you, but I'm just telling you, my phone rang off the wall there, but I got a couple neighbors that, rightfully so.
Yeah.
You've got to, I know you had good intentions.
I wasn't done with it. We got tied up with a water leak.
Well,
I was gonna level it.
yeah, it sure needs level. It's getting to be a mud road now. I mean, blacktop's gone.
They never had no oil on it to start with.
I know.
I'm trying to get them potholes out of there.
Yeah. But I understand you had good intentions to fill up them holes with rock.
But that blade's no good. Somebody played the demo with the railroad track, I guess, and so they tore that blade
The
up.
blade on the tractor?
The railroad street needs attention. Now, if you ever do that again, go to, what is that street that goes north and south?
Oak Street.
Oak?
Oak.
I think it is Oak.
Is that where you live?
Yeah.
Yes, it's Oak Street.
Oak, dead end street. Go to there and stop. Don't go past my house.
Don't wanna go past.
No, just stop right there. And I'll tell you what, Jerry Archer and myself, we take our trash cans by hand and put them down to the corner.
Yeah.
To keep the trash trucks from mashing that, what blacktop there is, out.
Oh, and it's leaving the hump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just stop there and
I don't know why that blade does that.
we'll be cool.
Yeah, I don't know why it does that. They bent it backwards, and I think it throws it out.
Yeah. Like I say, I'm not blasting your ear because I know you had good
Are we
intentions.
done with that?
Yeah, we.
New business. Abandoned buildings.
Abounding buildings.
Abandoned
We've
buildings.
got a few.
Ones that ain't worth a hoot. Up there at Miss Stoneberger's block. There's two of them there.
One down here.
There's one here on Main Street. And I don't know what Linda's gonna do with that house that she lived in. It's up for sale.
The
Which
house that
one's this?
The one that burned up there on Main Street.
Right across from your house.
Yeah.
burned? It's up for sale?
Huh?
It's for sale?
No.
Linda Wilson's Cove.
Yeah, you wanna buy it?
Like, who would buy that?
No, that one on Railroad.
Linda Cove over here
The old
across.
That one on
where
Railroad
the
Street.
Storage
The old
buildings
Stoneberger
are.
place, wasn't it, sold at the county
Oh, okay.
auction?
I have no idea. I cannot never find out about that place. It was sold.
Tax.
Not my department.
Okay.
I don't know.
I heard through the grapevine, the one that burned, Larry, Bailey was gonna take it down, and that's the last we heard on him.
Hearsay's like,
That come from
Well,
him.
they came and they marked off all the lines and everything, and then we didn't come back.
Huh?
You're gonna wait till the ground settles up.
That Stoneberger place had a sign that said,
Yeah.
auction.
Larry said go
Yep.
get the-
that was on the trailer, that wasn't on the house.
Oh, it wasn't.
But they got.
Can a guy go to the county clerk and find out who owns them?
Yeah, you can go pretty good.
Yes.
That's what I was gonna say, somebody needs to go to the county clerk, that way you can find out who bought them. Go in there, they got maps of all the lots in town.
Christina, this is full.
Okay, mine should still be going.
You can't pick and choose. You can't pick and choose who you want to, you can't do it. Either all or none.
On what, Bill?
You can't pick and choose. You got it either all or none.
Yeah, that's right.
You can't pick and choose.
In the big cities, they call them blight. And they'll take down 15 houses.
That place next to me sold for 85 cents.
It did.
Yeah, we heard
Sure
about
did.
that.
I'm just saying.
It got mold in it.
So,
Hey,
There's a meeting coming up in Mount Vernon next month. And it's, if anybody wants to go, I think we can get 2 or 3 people to go, it'd be nice.
what's the time and date?
It's called Elected Officials Workshops. These half-day workshops will include a legislative update and discussion about IML resources, OMA training, tools for addressing and resolving conflicts and open discussions on a variety of topics. Current municipal interest. And that's at April
Yeah,
April 3rd at Mount Vernon. And it's $50 and the city will pay for it. And we get
That's when?
a handbook for newly elected officials, adult use cannabis resources, and conflicts of interest, ethics and liability of Illinois elected officials in 2019 edition of the Illinois Municipal Policy Journal.
Is it $50 one fee for our group or $50 per person who wants to
$50
attend?
per person,
it's a half a day.
half a day.
For half a day.
And somebody said they get a pretty good meal, so.
Gary, I'm leaving at
Okay.
that meeting with the,
There's the time.
Take care of yourself.
It's
Where's your
from
booth?
8:30 and 12
I can
until
imagine trying to
12
walk
p.m.
into it.
12:30.
it's in the
12
car. I
p.m.
didn't want to get it on.
Yeah.
Registration opens at 8 a.m.
John, you there?
Where's your crutches at?
They're at home, but
Find my-
I didn't have to put my boot on, my other boot on.
They kinda like it going.
Nice, you learn about it.
Any of you interested?
All this stuff.
Well, how about handing
What's the date?
directions too?
April 3rd.
April 3rd.
Where is it at again?
Mount Vernon.
Mount Vernon.
Illinois.
Yes.
Okay.
I'd be interested in going if I'm free that day. That weekend.
Okay.
What day of the week is that?
Friday.
A Friday?
Yeah, Friday.
Wrong counter.
So who else besides, anyone else besides John?
I'd be interested in going. I'd have to see if I can work it out.
So everybody looked at these already.
Oh, I have, she has.
I have.
Stacy has. Yep. Make sure those-
Margaret Butch. Okay.
Did Stacy say anything before she left about it?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. I didn't hear anything.
I got one more little old thing.
Can I ask a question before you go any further?
Yes.
What happens to these houses like this house down here? The house burns up and they just walk off and say, well, you take care of it. I mean, do they walk off with the money?
I don't
So
know
house
if we
insurance-
can get a title that way or have them supposed to turn over title or what. I don't know.
Usually, the homeowner's responsible for it, no matter what condition it's in.
That's true. That is true.
Now, there it says it's a heck of a liability sitting there.
That is too. I think she's been told to board up the building, but she hasn't done that yet either.
Well, they
Did
need
we
either
address that, John? Why?
fix it or tear it down or
There's
something.
one.
And
Sell it
we
or
did
something?
anywhere with it.
I offered
Randy
to tear it
was
down
here
for
and
her.
he said
Really?
Yeah,
something about family.
But I want the lot.
couldn't do anything yet because she has the two houses.
'Cause that ain't cheap.
in there.
No, that's right.
No, it's
Yeah.
not.
During
But
springtime.
wasn't
it's
interested
raining
in that.
down
I don't
there,
know what
like,
they,
so
I don't know what they.
Okay.
I don't know how to force
One
it.
last thing, guys.
I'm not sure either.
Burn pile.
Park, not burn
Yep.
pile.
I thought
What
we
about
were
it?
doing that.
I thought it was
I'm gonna
done.
open it back up if possible. Because I'm under the influence or whatever that the EPA wasn't the ones that shut it down. It was Jim Sloss or Larry Sloss.
Sauce. That'd be nice.
It'd be nice.
We just couldn't burn everything or anything like
Yeah,
we just.
we're gonna put a sign up,
Yeah.
no appliances or anything like that, or
Brush on.
tires,
Part of the
or
reason,
roofing.
I believe we probably have an ordinance on what we can and can't burn. The fire department might
Yes.
also. So
Yes.
yeah, we
that way we
did, and
can maybe make a big sign and put it out there for everybody.
we were constantly getting stuff that
Anybody wanna
wasn't
make a
allowed.
motion on that?
And, well, but then we turned around and had the trash pickup, and we went ahead and went to curbside.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have a burn pile.
Yeah.
And that cost us, that was the difference there.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're doing it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You need a motion?
I'd like
Let's hear
to,
what Dave's gonna say.
Can, instead of moving the bird pile out to park, can you move it out to
No,
sewer ponds in the corner?
no, I've already asked somebody that question. No, we can't.
Can't do that?
No,
Okay.
because if it gets in the sewer pond, it's gonna
Okay,
load the sewer pond all heck.
yeah. Plus the wind always carries this way too, so.
Okay.
Okay,
Blowing right down.
great. Now we can go with that.
Good question. Hold on. This lady down here's got a good question.
well,
The park don't belong to the town,
yeah, you guys just made it clear that the park was not the village's,
yet we're gonna put the burn pile
but
on the
we have a
park.
burn pile. We don't have the privilege of putting a burn pile there if it's not ours.
That's where it's been forever.
It doesn't matter. I mean, if,
Could we talk to the
How
county
we
board about that?
require that
maybe?
by
See what they have
somehow.
to say, and
The park.
if they give
We
us
require
inside village
that,
limits, and the county might be,
yeah, we
cause
definitely would
I'm
have.
not sure how it works up there at the park either, and I'd like to talk to them also about
That
how
is really a mess.
the thing, yeah.
Yeah.
This is
The
town,
thing
this
of it is, as long as I've lived in this little old town, Bellmont Park has always been Bellmont Park.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
And
agree,
Never
but it's,
been
I
anywhere
agree,
else.
and
but it's not.
but we're all kinda new to it anyway, and we'd like to know before we carry on, and that way we can't be held liable for stuff.
I will leave that up to you to find that out then.
Okay, do that.
Then how can the shelter house be part of?
Yeah, that's what you guys are throwing me off here.
Yeah,
How are we claiming the shelter house?
I don't know how the shelter house
If
got
it's not
put in the
Bellmont
park to
Shelter
begin
House.
with.
and
That's
that's
been
what,
a
that's
long time.
that's
They
why we
could-
need to
they
start,
could
that's why we need to
annex.
start at step one.
You could
find out,
annex,
and go step two.
if you want to,
You could.
you could annex it
Right.
at any time.
Right.
It's just a matter of
And what is that?
petition and
Can you explain that to me, because I don't know what that is.
you could annex it at any time. I mean, you gotta do filings and stuff like that, but I think you could annex.
What's that mean?
Anybody that goes against it,
What's that mean, Andy?
you
You
assume
sign a
it,
petition.
absorb it into.
you'd be like, we make that part of the city limits,
Huh?
you know?
Yeah, and it might be annexed
I
already.
always thought they ought to annex all the way out to the highway myself.
About like rezoning,
Yeah.
Why are we having
They could
rezone
annex it.
everything. Instead of the county getting the money, the
That
town
road
gets the
is-
money.
Goes up
Yeah,
around that
we
way.
get-
Probably already.
We would get the money instead of the town.
How it is and how
Under
it's
the
in,
park.
that way we know for future.
I mean, we don't wanna do anything correctly at the same
It'd
time.
be something, you got a new lawyer, you might ask a new lawyer, how do you do that?
And I'm like, yeah, it's
That
always.
would be a good
Yeah,
thing.
No, you didn't.
I'm 75 years old, and as long as I've been in this town, the village has always taken care of the park, the ball diamond, the road around it, the whole shebang. Now, where's it start or stop? I don't
You're
know.
not,
Yeah, that's
we're all-
what we need to
we're all
figure out.
pretty new.
We
We're
need
all
to-
pretty new to this,
We need to
yeah.
figure that out so we know our liabilities and cover our butts off so
Somebody
the
knows.
village.
Yeah.
We got a lawyer for
It's
us.
surely in the records somewhere. We're gonna have
Yes.
to go back in the books and,
And if we
See
don't know,
when
we
and
need to
how.
figure
That's
it
what
out.
that guy at the high dollar,
yeah, we're gonna, he ain't got no high dollar, honey.
oh, the big money's down there.
He's all the monsters
Not him,
just like
not him,
us.
the lawyer down there, he knows,
Trevor, okay.
he knows.
What, Trevor?
yeah.
Well,
Everybody looked at the bills.
yes,
We need a motion to approve.
I motion to approve the bills.
I second.
Yeah, we need to ask Trevor if it's annexed and where we can get the information to that, if we don't already have it.
Now, not now, but at one time when they had the fair down there, there was a big howl about the fair,
Mm-hmm,
the racetrack,
Oh,
all
yeah.
that.
Yes, there was.
I mean,
At
there
one
was
time
big-
there was.
mm-hmm. And if we already have problems with it down there, if we
The
got shut
tribe
down
got
one time, we need to
sick.
figure it out ahead of time.
But,
But if we ever had problems with it and it shut down now, we need to figure out everything about it that we can if we don't know.
It's gotta be in the records too somewhere.
But yeah, I'm sure it is, yeah.
well, if we do what Bill said, annex it, then you gotta have it, you gotta have it surveyed and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Survey lines and everything.
well, and see, like,
What are we gonna do with it?
so for someone to stand up and say that it's not part of the village.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be the way
so
to
it
do
probably
that.
was annexed.
Rezone
It
the
is part
town.
of the village, but way back when, but we need to know, sir. 'Cause I don't
Town's
know.
cut off, and I don't know why.
Somewhere it's part of the village.
Yeah.
But
Gotta cover our butt.
County ought to pay us to mow it then.
yeah, you're
I
right.
think I'll have to go talk to somebody about that.
It was gasoline too, right?
Next county board meeting, I'm going.
There you go.
Get right after 'em.
Let's talk some cash.
I'm not gonna come get you out of jail, Bill.
I'm not going to jail. Am I?
Only if it belongs to the county.
Yeah, anybody like
Somebody's
to do
gotta own
anything?
It ain't blackmail.
Somebody got
I'll
to own
motion
it.
to adjourn.
Well, wait, I got one more question.
Okay.
I don't quite understand about the abandoned buildings. We said, yes, we have some, but what's the topic about the abandoned buildings? What's,
This is in the.
We need,
oh, let me take a look. Okay, thank
okay,
you.
take a look at that. We need to find out if we can get these people to take care of
That's a
them.
good question.
And how to do it, and how to get it, okay, got it.
Good question.
And we've been after the lady that's got the building on Main Street since the building burnt, and she hasn't done nothing yet.
Well, if we go after one, we have to go after them all. We just
You
can't
can't,
pick one
Yeah,
out.
can't
We gotta
And-
pick
do
and choose.
everybody.
And they have to be truly
That's true.
abandoned, they can't be a building
Can't
that
pick and
someone's
choose.
just
And
not
that's the
taking
same
care of.
with, what's his name up there by the water tower?
Coy. Short.
Huh?
Coy.
No,
That abandoned
well, that one there too. And the one across the street over at,
Oh, yeah. That's a mess.
I don't know anything of any people in this town.
his dad used to live in that house.
Mike Wright's
Yeah, Mike Wright's old building,
right
old house.
east of it, yeah.
Yeah, right south of you.
I kinda talked to the family about some of that stuff, and I said, it looked like you give Mike permission to tear that down. Well, you know.
No, they had a
You
big
don't have to
do
live around here.
at the family reunion, and they said, oh, there's a lot of, what is it?
But if we do something about it, that's not the law. That's not the case. The town says you need to either fix it up or get rid of it, or sell it, or something.
I agree.
And we all pay taxes and stuff to keep our houses up and stuff
It's
like
them
that.
with
And you got-
them with that old house that's across from Bill's up there.
That's pitiful.
it's terrible.
Sean
That's
needs to
pitiful.
get the thing down and out of there or whatever.
Where's that at, Bill?
Right across the street on the highway on Kingsburg. Bellmont.
Sean,
Across
what's his
from the
name?
shop.
Yeah,
Just up the
across
street
the
from you.
Judy.
Fireman, he's a
Up there
firefighter.
across the street
Sean,
where Bill's got his truck.
Yeah.
Right
Is it
through the
abandoned?
Sean,
Pick
Is
the
it
thing
abandoned?
now.
Cross the road.
She lives next
I
door.
can't think of
Well,
his name.
she's
Yeah, there ain't
Sean?
nobody lives in.
Just the cats, right?
Probably unless they move to
Every
the
morning,
next
that's
house
where
in.
Greg Fox goes
I
in
didn't
there
know, I
about
didn't
3 in the
know if she
morning.
was still living
She
in
was
it or
in there.
not, I couldn't see how.
No, she's not. She's
There's
in
another
Mount
one.
Carmel in
There's another one down there where he lives.
Well, and
Yeah.
I do think this is a good idea and it's important to
It's
address it.
abandoned.
I'm not certain.
I think it was.
It's a
yeah.
what?
That house where
I'd
Carter
like
used
to
to
buy
live, or
that.
whoever lived there, I forget who lived there.
I tear it down, blow the whole thing.
I don't know.
Well,
somebody bought it.
That lady lived
Yeah,
there.
somebody bought it for 85 cents.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. They put it up for auction at the courthouse.
What happens when we
Now, we're
start
stuck with it.
thinking about passing these
See, I just,
out to all the homes that need to be just taken down or cleaned up? Residents say, fine, take it down. You wanna pay to have it destroyed or take it down, do it. And the village cannot afford to take down these homes.
No, they can't take none.
So, I mean, this has to be enforced, there's gotta be a ticket involved, there's gotta be something more involved, because
next to his house. Right down here. From 3 miles away, you look at it, look too bad a house, but it's trash.
across from the Methodist Church,
Yeah,
That's another
It's-
question to ask, Trevor.
Trevor. So-
About what to do to enforce these.
Yeah, cause I mean,
Yes, ma'am.
we can send these letters out and then, I've heard it come from people, well, fine, take it down.
I know, that's what
That's
they
your
did
expense,
too.
go right ahead, and the village cannot afford to take down these homes.
Yeah.
If
Clean
they
up
take
the
this
properties.
house down
Was
over
it
here
under,
that burned,
an ordinance, or was that just a thing?
are
in
you
the
guys
manual?
gonna enforce it for them to mow the lawns, or are you gonna just let it grow
Yeah,
up?
right,
and-
exactly, then you've got, who's gonna take care of the property afterward, and it goes on
We
and
gotta do
on.
them all, we can't just go one and done.
Well, that's one thing I've always said about the village of Bellmont, we can ask people to pick up, we can ask them to take care of their yards, to clean up, to throw their trash away, but we can't make them, and it just brings down the rest of the village. And I don't know how to get around that.
Well, the thing is, when everybody has property rights at their own property,
Yeah,
and once your property gets overwhelmed and starts invading on somebody else's property rights, that's when you have a problem. Cause then you're invading on their property rights, and, you know, that's, not how our country's based. You
Can
have
they
your
all
own
put up
property.
like a 10-foot fence around their,
You've got a
so
bunch
we
of
don't
them
have
there.
to see it, cause even an eyesore.
Right.
Hardwicks.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and there's a number of them. You know, a bunch of people moved out of Bellmont and just left.
Just
and
left.
There's
So this
We
is
went-
for dangerous
there's-
or unsafe though.
not a lot of stuff around here. Business is shut down, you know, that's
Unsafe,
good.
it doesn't
People
actually
just
say
left.
abandoned.
And
I think the one next to David and Susan know is
Any of them.
bank owned.
He just said it was sold for 35 cents or 85 cents.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Where's that at?
85 cents.
85 cents.
Well,
Then
then,
it's up
then
to
they can
whoever
afford to
bought
take
it
it
to
down,
do something with it.
right?
I bought my shop for under $500.
Yeah.
Sure did.
Go ahead, Dave.
How to take these empty lots and houses. I think what you gotta do is the town will start writing tickets for the people that own it. And then you start fining them somehow or another. Then you go in there and try to condemn it. And then once you condemn it, the town takes it over, cleans it up. I think it runs in some order like that.
Gotta put a lien on their property.
Well,
after
well,
the
Then
ordinance.
once you condemn it, why then the town can take it over somehow or another. Have to talk to your lawyer about how that works.
Right, that's what we just said.
Yeah.
But once it's condemned, why I think somehow or another steps you can go in and clean the whole place up and the city takes it over.
I think you're right, but we gotta get the lawyer to put the medicine where the pain's at.
And then we've gotta be able to clean it up.
That's right, he gets
The
paid for
village has
it.
gotta be able to have the income to clean it up.
It
after.
covers your butt.
It's been a while since I've done that, but I have to get everything
Now, if you
lined
live in
out for how it
Indiana-
went
If you
through.
live in Indiana, you got tons of money that come down here with a grant, so you got $150 million and
That's what
Yes,
it's gonna
absolutely
be.
right.
Okay, so now I understand what we were asking.
Yeah.
About the
And that's a good question. Awesome.
Okay, now we got them, but what are we gonna do about it?
exactly.
Yeah.
That would be one of the-
And we've addressed this before.
Oh, yeah.
It just keeps coming back around.
Okay, we
I
need
motion
a
to.
motion to
Hey,
adjourn.
I
young
motion
man.
to adjourn.
Hey.
Who
I
seconded?
think John seconded.
Again?